Hello and welcome to the absolutely sensational Isle of Mull. So yeah, what an absolute honour to welcome you all to the incredible Isle of Mull here in Scotland. It's an absolute bucket list location for myself, it really is, and not just in terms of landscape photography, even as just somebody who loves travelling. I'm so excited to be here, and to be able to share it with you guys is just awesome. So for anyone that doesn't know much about the Isle of Mull, unlike the Isle of Skye, which has a bridge, you actually have to take a ferry to this island from the Scottish mainland, which takes about 45 minutes, which I think adds a little bit of excitement, a little bit of charm to the journey as well, so that's all good. So yeah, about 45 minutes, and I'm spending roughly 2 or 3 days here on the island. I'm not here just purely for photography, but of course, there's no way I'm leaving this island without taking 1 or 2 photographs and visiting, 1 or 2 locations that I've planned as well. So we're starting here, funnily enough, on another island which is just off the west coast of the Isle of Mull itself, and it's called Iona. And again, you have to take another ferry to Iona, but it's only about 4 minutes. And this is some of research that just has these incredible white sand beaches with that turquoise water, and trust me, it is looking absolutely amazing even now on a pretty bleak and grey day. I can't imagine what it was like here, in this summer that we've just had here in the UK. It must have been literally like the Caribbean. It's amazing. But yeah, this is just honestly a little bit overwhelming. This is somewhere that I've wanted to visit for about 3 or 4 years now, since I got into landscape photography. Before I did get into photography, I didn't know anything about these sorts of landscapes and these beaches up here in Scotland. So yeah, this is an absolute treat, an absolute dream, and I can't wait. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to visit probably 1 or 2, maybe 3 locations around the island, around the whole Isle of Mull. I'm going to share it with you guys, but we're going to start here on little Iona, and I can't wait. So I have one composition in mind already, which is just over this way, so I'm going to go over there and get myself set up now and show you guys the composition as always. This is amazing. I'm honestly completely and utterly in my element here, guys. This is incredible. I'd call this a bucket list location as a landscape photographer for myself. This is a bucket list shot. It's one that I wanted to photograph for ages, and to be finally stood here doing it with my camera, my new tripod, all these things that I've worked so hard to attain, just feels amazing. And to be able to share it with you guys just heightens the whole experience. This is just an absolute treat. So as you might be able to tell, I'm pretty excited about this composition, so I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. What I'm trying to capture here, in essence, and the 2 most important things, very simple, it's the white sand and the turquoise water. That's it. Now I'll mention the most important thing here with my setup, and that's my circular polarizer on the front. I've never seen such positive usage out of my polarizing filter. It's allowing us to cut that glare off from the top of that water as normal, but then that's allowing us to capture all them beautiful blues and turquoise colours through into the ocean, which, like I said, is exactly what I'm trying to do here. So that's amazing. So I've also got my 6-stop neutral density filter on the front, and I'm pretty much just playing around with shutter speeds as the waves come in and then recede back outwards. So I'm shooting at ISO 100, f6.3, and around about 8 seconds, but every now and again I'm changing my aperture, I'm adjusting it so that I can then adjust my shutter speed. And I'll probably take 20 or 30 shots here, guys, to be honest, and just choose my favourite one when I get home. Now I do want to mention as well, compositionally, I've got these beautiful line of rocks here on the left hand side of the frame that jits out into the ocean, and then what I'm trying to do is balance that out on the right hand side of the frame as well. We've got a very similar, albeit a bit further away, sort of line of rocks that also jits out into the ocean. I've got a few sort of rocky outcrops, I suppose you'll call them, dotted around the frame as well, which really adds a little bit of interest to the whole image, I think. And then a little bit of the Isle of Mull mountains in the background, and gorgeous moody sky. Amazing first image for the Isle of Mull. Oh, looks like it might be a nice one as well. Top draw. So, absolutely beautiful morning here on the Isle of Mull, and an even more stunning location, I must say. Now, this is a shot that I've planned out quite meticulously, to be honest, which isn't something that I'd usually do, but I enjoy that side of landscape photography as well. I've only really been planning this location since I've been on the Isle of Mull, but it's been really nice just being on my phone and my laptop. You know, I've been scouring on Google Earth around this location, seeing where it'd be a good vantage point, you know, to take some good photographs of this scene. I've been using my Ordnance Survey maps to get a little bit of an idea of the lay of the land and stuff like that. It's been really good. So, you know, like I said, I do really enjoy this side of landscape photography as well. But yeah, this really is a beautiful location. It's not really like anywhere that I've been on the Isle of Mull as of yet, and I don't know if anyone else would agree with this, but I find it really reminiscent of the Faroe Islands, which isn't somewhere that I've been. It's on my list, but, you know, from just seeing images and watching a few videos from the Faroe Islands, it really does feel like it. If these hills were a little bit more of a shade of green, I think it would be even more reminiscent. But yeah, it's definitely a good thing, and this is just absolutely gorgeous. So, like I say, I've planned this composition really quite meticulously, and if I'm being honest, so it was at this stage that my audio actually failed, which is obviously quite unfortunate, but I was essentially going on to explain how my original idea was to go down to the shores of Loch Kinneil and try and get an image from down there, but I sort of stumbled across this location just peering over the edge of this cliff here, and I found these beautiful silver trees which I just kind of had to use as foreground really. I just found them really attractive, so it's pretty much exactly what I decided to do. Now, I decided to go about this in the way of taking a vertical panorama, so 3 shots, one of, you know, right at the edge of the cliff, a little bit of the cliff, a little bit of the trees, then the mid-ground, which was the loch, and then the background, which was them beautiful mountains there off in the distance, and then, you know, stitch them together in post-processing. I should also mention as well that I decided to focus stack these images from the foreground right up to the background, so hopefully that comes out well, and I'll put that image up for you guys to see now. So I really hope you like that photograph there and decided against going down to the shores of the loch. I think I'm taking one last photograph here that I'll show you in a second, and all I've done is an absolute classic panorama. It's the first time I've done a panorama actually with my new Manfrotto tripod, and it's an absolute breeze, you know. I've took some time, spent 5 or 10 minutes to be honest, just completely leveling out the tripod, making sure everything was completely level. Obviously everything's really still. It's just an absolute breeze. I've genuinely enjoyed setting up to take a panorama with this tripod. It's been amazing, which might sound a little bit geeky, but yeah, it's been great. And yeah, I've just took a classic right to left panorama. I've took about 7 or 8 shots. I think the scene's just really sort of laid out for it to take that sort of panorama. I've took more shots than I need to. If you want to know my settings, ISO 100, f10, 1/5 of a second, all the way right to left, focus to infinity. Got my 18 to 55mm lens on, and I'm shooting at 45mm. So yeah, nice and simple. And yeah, I just didn't fancy going down. It's going to take me about 20 minutes to get down there by the looks of it. I want to get this shot, get the camera away, and just enjoy my last day in the Isle of Mull without my camera, to be honest. Just do a little bit of exploring. There's a couple more beaches that I want to get to, and yeah, just enjoy the nature whilst I can, because it's going to be a long drive home tomorrow. So I'll show you this photograph now, this panorama. I really hope you enjoy it, and of course I really hope you enjoyed this video as well. And cheers for tuning in. Thanks ever so much. Please consider subscribing if you're new, if you enjoy this content, and I shall see you guys next week on the next adventure. Out.